All right, so you may have heard this Google Stadia, whatever the fuck it's called. New cloud gaming service, Netflix a la gaming, sort of as it's sold, right? So now you can get your mind control everywhere with your Netflix everywhere, which is your mind control as well. And that's the whole purpose of this. They want you to always be hooked to the internet so that you never even think about not being hooked to the internet. In fact, they want to make it a 24/7 thing. And that's why they've weaved it in. When they gave you your snow jobs and they leaked information about government spying, NSA and all that, that was all just to set the table so that you would accept it. This is how they function. And now you're going to live in a complete surveillance state where there is no privacy and everything you do is being recorded. Everything is being collected. So one of the major purposes of gaming is to map out personalities and stuff like that. Like they monitor all your interactions. I'll be doing a lot about this in the future in upcoming videos on Supreme Lord Commander, but there's a lot of crazy social manipulation and mind control at foot here. And so this is not surprising that Google is going this way, because they're all kind of going this way. Now, Nintendo did it before with the Switch, right? Which has a lot to do with all the genders and the transformation and the eventual sort of transhumanism that's coming into play. But the gaming realm is so huge as compared to almost any other entertainment realm, and they're all directly connected. It's all one and the same. You know that, right? It's the same people that control it all. That's why it's draped in all your occult New World Order symbolism everywhere, and that's why all the agendas that they are bringing forth are, every game, everything is chock full of them. So it's a dangerous realm because it's where the mind control is the heaviest, in the sense that people that play games tend to, it's very addictive. I mean, I'm sure anybody here, and don't feel bad if you've had video game addictions. I've had them myself. I'm sure almost anyone here can relate, with a video game addiction. And how it works, much like gambling sort of thing. It just keeps coming back, keeps these endorphins going off in your brain. So it's all designed. What we're heading towards is, what we already are pretty much there, is a 24/7 where everything you do is monitored. So you think of the Black Mirror episode where the guy's cycling for credits, and when he's off work, he goes to his room, and his room are all these giant television screens, like everywhere, right? And he can't turn away from it, and they force him to watch porn. They're already bringing you to that almost. I mean, it's pretty crazy. They normalize it, and they push it everywhere. And you see with like Fortnite and all the games that have the last crop of addictive video games, you see the transformations for the older console games. When you think about the older console games, so you think maybe Fallout, you think maybe, Doom might be a good example, but more like an old school style, first-person shooter. A good example would be Skyrim. Now, in those games, you didn't have to play those games online. In fact, those were kind of designed to be able to be played offline, sort of thing. And the methods, all the type of programming that's gone into that is a whole nother kettle of fish. So I'm not going to simplify it. But what I'm going to say is that those games were designed to keep you playing as long as possible and collect all this data. But you were offline, or you could be offline. So you could play those games offline. All the new games are all about always being online, right? And what they try to do with the Xbox Connect and the cameras and all that is they want you to have these monitoring systems that would be on all the time. So this is just keeps happening. So now people are buying the Google Alexas, right, and the devices that they're putting in their homes that are always on, and they're always collecting every bit of information that you give it. Basically, any conversation you have or any sort of activity that you have is being collected. You have to assume. Doesn't mean they're necessarily wasting time watching you in particular, but if you do get out of line, or you do start to cause trouble at some point in time, they'll have all that data. So these are all really important things to consider. The whole credit rating system that's being implemented, that's already implemented in China, is going to be happening here. 100%. They're going to incorporate it into birth certificates and DNA. This is what they have planned coming, sort of thing. So the gaming fits all into this narrative where it's just like Don't even think about the internet on. The internet is always on, and everything that you do is being collected. Another thing about porn too is to encourage people to normalize the porn, to encourage people to consume it, and to encourage people to partake in it. So it breaks down that privacy even further, right? That's why they had the fappening and all these celebrities and all their sex tapes coming forth over and over again, because that's all part of your conditioning. It's getting you to mimic that type of behavior and to deconstruct the whole concept of privacy and be able to completely control you all the time. That's what they want to do, right? So we'll just take a look at the CBC article here with this. You got your black and white symbolism, of course, right? And Google announced, here, I'll bring this over. Google announced on Tuesday that it would launch this year a browser-based video game streaming service dubbed Stadia that attempts to capitalize on the company's cloud technology and global network of data centers. So think about that. Cloud technology, which is another thing that they've programmed you into, putting all your personal information on a cloud, which can easily be accessed by them, so that all your photos and emails and everything else, your personal stuff, is there. And they ease that into your consciousness so that it's like, oh, why worry, right? I have nothing to hide, sort of thing. So, and then they talk about global network of data centers. So what do you think they're in those data centers? What do you think they're doing in them? They're harvesting your data. They're collecting everything that you do. Absolutely. They're building profiles on all of us. That's why they want all our DNAs. They want to know everything about you. They want to be able to use their artificial intelligence programs to analyze every character, to identify characters that might be a little bit too intelligent, a little bit too thinking too critically, perhaps, and other sort of things. They want to know who, is going to get to breed in the future with the machines. Yeah, all this shit is pretty crazy. So the technology allows users to play games through their internet browser or YouTube without waiting for content to be downloaded to a device, making access to games as potentially as easy as watching a video from YouTube. We've already seen this. I mean, PlayStation tried to do it with their PlayStation Now, and it didn't really work, or the people didn't really take to it. I think still, like when it comes to like console gamers, typically console gamers tend to be people that want to be offline more, or are more used to the type of games. I don't know, I could be completely wrong, but they're dramatically altering that because they want you always connected so they can collect everything that you're doing all the time and also keep you busy. Because a guy that's girl or guy that's spending a lot of time gaming is not doing anything, right? I mean, let's be honest. Unless you're making money, unless you're, there's a lot of people on YouTube and Twitch and whatever else that make money, but you're not bettering humanity by any way, shape, or form. And what you're doing as a profession is dubious at best, right? It's certainly not for the benefit of anyone, really, when you think about it, because promoting the sort of consumption of these games, promoting the partaking in these games is, could be deemed as a negative thing overall, for sure. So anyways, but Google offered scant details on the timing, pricing, or available titles for the service, which faces potentially tough competition from game publishers and from rivals, including Amazon, of course, and Microsoft. But they're all in it together. They're all in the same New World Order. They all are such powerful corporations. It's not like any one of them has more power than everyone else, right? They're all mega fucking major corporations. They're all connected. They're controlled by the same people, and they're all trying to achieve the same objectives. Their New World Order. They want to depopulate us. They want to replace us with machines. There's a lot of crazy things they want to do. But we're all in their world as long as we allow ourselves to be part of it, as long as we partake in it. And to another extent, we could say with the 5G and the eventual 6G and whatever else they bring in, is that each iteration of this wireless seamless technology is another major step up on our loss of privacy and our health, to have all these waves and other things going through us, right? It's just a full court blitz sort of assault that we're having here. And they're going to sell it to you like it's wonderful, like they're selling 5G. Like, we need 5G. Like, 5G is it's like water or something, or electricity, right? We're going to take people out because we're going to give them 5G. I mean, what's the difference with 4G? Well, it's faster. Well, thanks. Right? Like, we needed 4G to begin with. And I know some people depend on the internet for their livelihood, so I'm sympathetic towards that. But the average person, come on, seriously? So, anyways, with Stadia, the waiting game will be a thing of the past, says Phil Harrison, a Google vice president overseeing the new device, said during a keynote presentation on Tuesday in San Francisco at the Game Developers Conference, which is bringing together this week about 2,500 people. 25,000 people who work in the video games industry. Google declined to say how it would price its technology to consumers or game makers or specify supported games. It demonstrated titles from Doom, Assassin's Creed franchises, and said it will be developing some games in-house. So you can expect your Dream Daddy type homoerotic lesbian type programming. Black and red, interesting, with the black and white sort of symbolism in the background. Jade Raymond, I wonder. And she's the head of the Stadia, whatever you want to call it. The streaming technology offers a fresh way for Google to pitch game publishers on its cloud computing and data storage services, which ultimately could generate more revenue for Google than game sales. But analysts have questioned whether the top game publishers will be prepared to shift from their lucrative business of selling games on disc. Game publishers also may decide to launch their own streaming services, as film and TV studios have begun doing for their content over the last few years, like you see with all the Hulu and the freaking Netflix and everyone else, right? AMC. In addition, several technology companies are looking to boost service revenue through games, including, of course, NVIDIA, Sony Corporation, Microsoft. The latter two dominate the 100 billion. Imagine that, if that's what they say, right? I guess so, right? 100 billion global game market. You compare that to other industries. I don't know. I mean, I would take a stab at like the music industry being like 20 billion or maybe 30 billion. Maybe the movie industry is similar. So the gaming industry is way bigger. And people play these things way more. So, like, again, like I have to say, like somebody, you don't watch your favorite movie 2 hours a night every night sort of thing, but you could play Fortnite easily that much or even more, the way that people are. And these games are becoming more and more addictive. So the flow of the game, this is something they're getting down. When you think about it, the way, and I'll show this in upcoming with Overwatch, the games come quickly. So, like, when you're hooked in and you're playing the games, the downtime between the game that you just finished and the next game is usually, 15, 20, 30 seconds, really. Like, they want to get you back because they don't want you to leave. They don't want you to lose interest. So they'll keep you in the game. And this is how these games are evolving. They're becoming more and more addictive. The whole sort of loot crate thing that they, the carrot and the stick sort of mentality that they program people, the addiction of loot crate, which is very similar to VLT machines that people put money into, right? The endorphins going off in your brain when you're getting new weapons, new items, right? New skins and stuff like that. Like they've worked the science on this purposely. This is the whole thing about that they don't tell you when you buy a video game, that the video game is designed to addict you and hold your attention and take you away from whatever you really should be doing. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Anyway, so the shares of Alphabet, Google's parent company, rose, whatever, right? And then Google has one key weakness, first-party and exclusive content. But both Microsoft and Tencent are better positioned with strengths in both infrastructure and content. So they're all basically going to do the same thing, right? And this is look at this. But Apple Incorporation's App Store, which sold about 33 billion. That's why you got to take these numbers with a grain of salt, of games last year. And the games industry views on Amazon.com Twitch's rather than YouTube's as the most popular video streaming service, which, it's like they get you here, they get you there. Like, it doesn't matter if you're Amazon, you're on YouTube, you're on Twitch, whatever, right? You're in their system. You're in their beast world sort of thing. So this is what we can expect. And players could enter games here. Players can enter games from links on YouTube or other social media. So, like, you could be watching a game and then you could click on a link and then you would be in the game instantly, sort of thing. That's what they're basically saying. They will also play using mice and keyboards, USB controllers, Wi-Fi enabled controllers, and all that crap. So I saw this video here. I was catching this video. This guy here, Kevin Kenson, they love to do the KK, PP, CC, all that shit. This guy's like, I don't know if he came from the same fucking vial as Tim Pool. He reminds me of Tim Pool. I don't know. Maybe they're brothers or something. But let's just listen to this guy, get all excited here. And this is the programming of the suspended adolescence that they program everyone into, or the suspended childhood, really, to be better, be more accurate here. This sort of beta male cuckification, or whatever you want to call it, right? There's, make up your own term, if you will. But they are definitely, what I say, suspended childhood is that they're programming everybody into a suspended state of childhood, and then they're normalizing that, and then they're so all your videos, and if you're new to my work and you look around, you see Big Think, and you see It Actually Happened, and you see infographics, and then you see ASAP Science, all the same people, and it's all the dumbing down of humanity. It's all programming you into being like just fucking like 3-year-olds, basically. That's what they love. If you could act like basically like a toddler, or maybe like a 3 or 4-year-old sort of mentality, and just keep you there, and give you the gooey fucking disgusting rainbow unicorn crap to satisfy you and addict you further, sort of thing. So let's listen in here and remind, of course, the YouTube community and everyone else out there that this is 100% nonprofit for educational purposes. No copyright strikes can be applied. Thanks.
The hope that Google has is that this is going to give you this very easy, accessible experience where you could just simply click on a link to start up a game, and it's going to give you this 4K 60 FPS HDR visuals that'll run on anything, because
that's fucked up too, eh? Everything's connected. Seen that before. Anyways,
not actually playing on it, it's just acting as a display device. This is taking a concept that's been getting bigger and bigger over the last couple of years, and potentially is pushing games into a brand.
You see this guy here, he's inside. He's got a fucking coat on. He's got a fucking winter tube. He reminds me of Tim Fool. I mean, anybody else chime in here? He's got what looks to me here. I mean, you'll say Illuminati and all that. It's just a Zelda sort of symbolism. But this is suspended sort of childhood. This is like a 30-something-year-old guy, and he's all excited about little video games that he grew up with as a kid, most likely. Or he's just a cocksucking shit-stained shill from hell playing a role, which is probable.
New future, embracing the concept of play anywhere. The concept of play anywhere is something that really all 3 major gaming hardware companies right now have experimented with in one form or another, just in very different ways. For instance, Nintendo has by far the simplest but also strangely innovative approach of making a handheld system that docks to a TV if you want to be able to have that at-home experience. So you can go...
There's a guy walking his dog. He's walking his dog. He doesn't have a girlfriend. He's just living in an apartment alone. He's walking his dog, going up to the park, bringing his video game with him. That's living. That's living, guys. Yeah. And look at the result. Look at the obesity rates. Look at how many, like, extremely weak people we're producing. All the Antifa people, right? Just sick people. Mentally, physically sick people. And look, yeah, like I play video games occasionally, and I know I played them in the past, and I understand the addiction because I grew up with them as well. So, like we've all been brainwashed into this type of behavior. We all have been, or they've tried to. And this is the whole thing about waking up people to this, is that, they want you hooked up to their system all the time. They want to control you. They want to control your thoughts. They want to program you. You're basically a machine at this point. You're a computer. You're a program. You're just a stupid program. For the most part, I'm saying most people, the 85% of people that do not possess critical thought, can't think critically, can't think out the box, have to turn to New York Times, have to turn to, National Queer Graphic, or the Vlog Brothers, or, Big Think, or some of your Zionist New World Order media to get the opinion, right? I'm going to just not think for myself. I'm going to listen to what this person says, and I'm going to formulate my opinion based on that. People that listen to Ben Shapiro, for instance, right? It's people that follow the corporate media. But
between being at home or on the go with one system instead of having to stream anything. PlayStation, on the other hand, kind of moves into the territory of streaming.
He's got the rainbow symbolism, of course, here as well.
Stuff, but it's still very focused on using their hardware. Initially, you could do things like use a PS Vita to play PlayStation 4 games on the go, streaming from your system. Now they've opened it up a little more, and you can use it with iOS devices. They've also messed with cloud gaming to an extent, but again, it's still focused on using their services by using PlayStation Now to play PlayStation games on your PS4 or on a computer. Now, Microsoft has messed the least with this concept so far, but they actually have one of the ideas in the works right now that's closest to Stadia, which is xCloud. And they even did a recent example of this by showing playing Forza Horizon 4 on an Android phone, not by the phone actually running the game, but instead playing it from one of their servers.
There you go. So anyways, basically that's what it is, right? The future of gaming, just like Netflix, where you're always hooked up all the time. So that everything that you're watching, everything that you're doing, everything that you're saying is being recorded all the time. And that you're being indoctrinated into their MIC culture, their fake culture, their New World Order, Zionist, New World Order, fucking, satanic sort of culture that they're doing, and they're dumbing you all down. It's really crazy. The corporations, the power that these corporations have over humanity is unprecedented. There's nothing in the history of the world that can really compare to what, like, Disney or Apple or Google, obviously, right? That the power that they have over humanity and the ability they have to program humanity into whatever they want to program us into. So, be careful of your convenience, right? Be careful of how they try to sell this to you. It's just like Melinda Gates going over and saying that women in Africa are deprived because they don't have smartphones. And then when she's asked what would they get from it, she said the ability to search privately on the internet, which is like a big joke, of course, too, right? It's so stupid. It's like pissing on your back and telling you it's raining, right? I mean, as if people that are out in nature and living family lives and living life the way people have lived for forever, basically, are going to be better off with the horrible, toxic New World Order sort of chemicals and, mind control and everything else. It's just a beast world. It really is. So anyways, I thank you for taking the time to listen to this. Hopefully you're a sub to this channel. If not, maybe you can give me a sub and a thumbs up and hit the bell sort of thing. And if you want to come and help me, my Patreon link's in the description. And every little bit helps a lot and allows me to do a lot more videos. And I really appreciate your support. So I look forward to listening to all your comments. And hey, if you're a gamer, don't feel bad. Don't think I'm here as an enemy or making you feel bad, because I understand, and I'm not here. I'm actually here to try to help you understand what they're doing and how they're using games, just like porn, as a weapon to deconstruct you and turn you away from being a normal human being, which is what real happiness is. And that's why they're normalizing depression, because they're not making normal human beings anymore. They're making sick human beings. So they have to normalize depression. They have to normalize all these things. Cancer. They have to normalize cancer because all the cancers and all the horrible fake foods that they're feeding us, right? If you so choose to eat the New World Order fucking fake food. Anyways, thanks so much for taking the time to listen to this. I bid you all a wonderful day.